Hey everyone, Dr. Greg here, and welcome to the Redwood Forest in California. And in this segment, in this video, I want to talk to you about thinking clearly. I want to talk to you about mindset, and obviously this is like just a super beautiful, perfect place. I'm just going to show you around. Like, it's just absolutely magical. And I'm here at a conference center, and there's just these great places to hang out in the woods and chill. And so super grateful to be able to be here with you and to talk to you about this idea of mental health. And really what mental health means to me is the ability for us to be able to do what we love, to be able to contribute positively to the world, to be healthy of mind and body because they're totally linked together, that we're able to learn, that we're able to be creative, that we're capable of solving problems. And that does not mean that we need to be happy all the time. That is not what I'm talking about. There's ups and downs of life. That's part of life. Without the downs, we wouldn't appreciate the ups. And so I want us to have those full range of experiences as human beings. But I also want us to be able to reach our capacity. I want us to be able to perform to our potential at whatever it is that we care about the most, whether that is music, drama, sports, business, teaching. It doesn't matter to me. I just want us to be able to have that potential. And right now, that's difficult. There's very good evidence that shows that about 1 in 5 people will access the medical system at some point during their lifetimes due to a mental health related challenge. We know that at this particular point in time, burnout rates are skyrocketing, and that's problematic because when we're burned out, we don't have that capacity to do what we want to do in our lives. We don't have that ability to reach our potential. So I have a few ideas for you today, 7 tips that I have for you that have been shown in the research to improve our mental health and improve our ability to think clearly. So I will share those with you here, and I hope that they're helpful. All right, let's dig into it. Here's tip number 1. All right, tip number 1 to think clearly and to improve our mental health is to practice gratitude. I know many of you have heard this before, but there's a unique element to the practice of gratitude that appears to make a difference. Now, what is gratitude? Gratitude is simply pausing for a moment and thinking about what we have. So right now I could pause and, wow, I'm in the Redwoods in California. This is amazing. I'm here speaking at a conference. This is my job. It's unbelievable. My kids are at home. They're going to school. That's just fantastic. They're in great schools. They're safe. My wife still likes me, which is a miracle. And I'm super glad because she's awesome, right? There's many different things like that we can think of to bring our attention to the fact that we can be grateful for the good things in our life. The more often that we do this, the more things we begin to notice. And that's key because what appears to be clear in the research on gratitude practice is that we need novelty. It's not enough just to notice the same things over and over and over again. My kids are healthy. I have a great job. All of those sorts of things over time lose their effect as a practice of gratitude that elevates our health and well-being. We want to try to find new things. And when we find new things, then that builds up the capacity to continue to discover things that we're grateful for and train the brain to observe and be aware of positivity. And that's hard because our brains are wired to notice negativity, and it's a survival reflex. If you were sitting around the fire and you didn't hear the saber-toothed tiger in the woods, you're the one that got eaten and your genetics did not get passed on. So when we are programmed to notice negativity, it's harder to be able to notice positivity. And that's essentially what I'm asking you to do here. That's what I'm asking you to train yourself to do by practicing gratitude. When you are practicing gratitude, bullet point 3 to 5 things a day that you're grateful for at a certain time during the day, morning or night are both great. That teaches your brain to notice positivity. And then when we add novelty to it, it just gets exponentially easier and easier and easier. So that's tactic number 1, practice gratitude. Tactic number 2 is to get into a state of flow. Now, what is flow? Flow is a state where our performance is easy, we are relaxed, but we are doing our very, very best. You've probably all experienced that. Most humans have. Unfortunately, it's often random, but I would like it to be a little bit more consistent for you. So how do we get into flow more often? The answer really is more energy and less tension. And the challenge that most of us have right now is that tension levels are high. So what I would love for you to think about is just consciously releasing tension from your bodies throughout the course of the day. This then becomes a practice where you notice that you're tense and it gets eliminated from your body almost immediately. So right now I notice when I'm leaning forwards, my back was a little bit sore there. So when I stand up and I can relax my shoulders, my breathing, my stomach, hang on, my legs, my arms, my feet, my face. Then all of a sudden, when we're free of tension, inevitably our energy levels go up because tension steals energy from our body. It's basically your muscles bracing. When your muscles are relaxed, they're not using energy, your overall energy level goes up, and then you can reallocate that towards the things that matter to you the most. Performing at work, in your training, playing music, hanging with your kids, making dinner, whatever that happens to be. So, more flow. How do we do that? Less tension, more energy. Easiest way to that is by releasing tension from our bodies, using that tension release tactic that I just showed you. So think about releasing tension throughout the course day. That simple body scan, relax your face, relax your shoulders, chest, abs, arms, core, legs, and feet. All right, tactic number 3, be mindful. Standing here at a labyrinth in the redwoods. And what are these designed to do? So labyrinths are little pathways that you follow that ideally are to train you to be present, to be mindful, to be here, just to follow the path that's been laid and do that in such a way that you don't touch the edges. Maybe you get to the center, maybe you don't, but it's the process, not the outcome, that matters. Now, what we're doing here is training ourselves to be in the moment, to be here now, to be where your feet are. Because the reality is, if you start thinking about other things, you make mistakes. You step on the edges, and it does not work. So, key number 3 for you is to be mindful, to be here now, to be where your feet are. Because the reality is that when we are present, beautiful little sculpture there in the background, when we are present, when we are here, when we are where our feet are, not in the past, not in the future, generally things are pretty awesome. And the reality is this is all that we can control. The past does not exist, neither does the future. When we replay events from the past, that's often associated with depression. When we imagine things in the future that don't yet exist, that's often associated with anxiety. And so when we bring ourselves into the present moment, when we practice mindfulness, which is simply being here now, the evidence is quite clear that that is one of the tools that we can use to dramatically improve our mental health. So it's a simple practice. It's simply be here now. What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? And what do you feel? When you use your senses here now, it brings you into the present moment and helps you to be mindful. Of course, there's other things you can do like meditation, journaling, painting, drawing, playing music, listening to music. Those are all fantastic tools as well. But the practice of being here now and being mindful is one of the most important things you can do to train yourself to think clearly and to improve your mental health. Hope that's helpful. Here comes the next tip. Focus relentlessly. We live in an era of constant, unrelenting distraction where everything is competing for our attention. Social media, text messages, emails are flooding our inboxes constantly. We all have our mobile devices on us at all times. We've seen the impact of distraction on children. We're seeing the impacts of constant activation on our mental health. And frankly, it's not good. Therefore, I believe that one of the things that we all need to do to prevent this from having a negative impact on us is to focus relentlessly. How do we do that? The easiest thing to do is to eliminate distractions. Turn off the audio notifications on all of your devices at all times. I am wearing a wearable right now because I'm before and after doing a workout, but I'm trying as much as possible to make sure that the notifications are off, and I just use it to track my training. I'm not checking email and all those other things, which is very easy to do when you are at the gym. So find what works for you in terms of eliminating the distractions. It might mean unfollowing a lot of people on social media. It might mean turning off the notifications on your devices. It might mean getting your devices out of your bedroom so that you can fall asleep and you can stay asleep without being interrupted. Of course, medical professionals, you need your phones because you might be on call, but in reasonable circumstances for the rest of us, we don't need that. Therefore, they should not be there. This is a practice. It is hard and it creeps back into your life. I've often deleted all of the social apps off of my phone only to find miraculously somehow months later, they're all somehow back on my phone again, and I have to then go about and delete them. It's a constant practice. So think about focusing relentlessly. Let's think about eliminating distractions. Let's deliberately audit every aspect of our lives to make sure that the only inputs that make it to our brains are positive, constructive, helpful, and that they help us to feel better, to improve our mental health, and that they are not distracting us from the things that are the most important to us in our lives. All right, focus relentlessly. That's the next key. Hi, everyone. So this is a personal one. This is really important. And this one really has to do with how you speak to yourself. Power words, cue words. And through decades of work with Olympic athletes, we have always thought about what do we want to be speaking to ourselves about before, during, and after competition, because it has to be positive. It has to be focused. It has to be constructive. Think about it. If you're about to compete and you say to yourself, all right, you can do this. It's going to be awesome. You've got this. You're able to do this. Then guess what? It's probably going to work out well. However, if you're like, I don't know, can I do this? What about that workout that I missed? I'm not sure if I'm able. Like the second that doubt creeps into your language, the way that you speak to yourself, your actual chances of performing at a world-class level drop precipitously. So we have to be careful about how we speak to ourselves. Quite often, we will speak to ourselves in a way that we would never speak to someone else. Our internal monologue is harsh. And I'm so guilty of this. And it's not guilt. It's just sort of like, I struggle with it. I don't know why. But I do catch myself quite often being hard on myself. I would never speak that way to my kids. I would never speak that way to someone that I was coaching. I would never speak that way to Judith, my wife. I would hopefully never speak like that to any of you. I want you to think about that as well. Practice love to yourself. Practice kindness to yourself. Practice encouragement to yourself. Talk yourself up. It doesn't have to be out loud. No one's going to hear you. Why not make it awesome? Why not make it like a boxer coming into the ring with the crowd going crazy and the announcer telling everyone about how amazing you are and all of your incredible accomplishments? We can do that. It might feel a little bit weird at first, but it works. It changes your physiology. It changes your psychology. It creates a chemical cocktail inside your brain that then sets the stage for happiness, for excitement, for energy, for positivity. And that's what I want for you. So let's think about that. Power words and self-talk. Make sure that they're positive. Make sure that they're encouraging. This is a practice founded on love of you and yourself. I know that's a lot, but it's a big one. So let's work on that together. All right, I'll see you in the next video. I would love for you to practice meditation. Now, it doesn't need to be meditation like you're sitting here with your fingers together, although that works and it's fine if you want to do that. It can be prayer. It can be playing music. It can be listening to music. It can be going out for a run, being present. Moving meditation is totally great. I just want you to do something where you are training your mind to be here now. Mindfulness is your mind is here now. Meditation is the practice of allowing your mind to wander and then bringing it back. This builds your capacity to consider that your mind, your attention, your concentration can be directed where you want it to go. Not where the algorithm wants it to go, not where other people messaging you wants it to go, not where the news cycle wants it to go, where you want it to go. And meditation is that practice. Meditation has been shown to improve mental health, reduce depression, reduce anxiety, improve performance in athletes. There's strong correlates between meditation and cardiovascular disease in a positive way and cancer. So this is something that we can use that has profound physiological effects. I've been doing it fairly consistently since about 2016. There's no question that it has had a powerful positive effect on my life, stuff that I can't get into in a 2-minute video. But it has made a huge difference for me, and I know that it will make a huge difference for you. Like I said, it doesn't need to be meditation per se. Prayer works, mindful movement works, music works as well. Whatever is in your belief system, whatever is in the practices that you can build up, that's great. And there's loads of apps that you can use too, like Headspace and Calm and 10% Happier are all amazing options to get you started and to get you going down this road. So that's my last piece of the puzzle for you. I really feel like that is something that will make a difference for you as a core practice to take away that will make a difference over a long time. Here for your last tip from my little workout room. You see kettlebells, Swiss balls, the bike, yoga mats, swimming gear, inspirational photo, television, paddles. They're all here. And just step outside. It's a beautiful morning, and jumping equipment, paddle boards, like you name it, it's here. And the reason why this is important is because ultimately the last thing around thinking clearly about mental health is simply this: exercise. And although that's a physical thing, the reality, exercise and your dog, the reality is that when we are physically healthy, it is a lot easier to be mentally healthy, and vice versa. When we're mentally healthy, it's easier to be physically healthy. And the interesting thing really is that you can start on either of those two things. You can start with physicality to improve your mindset, and you can also work on your mindset to improve your physicality. And I know that some days when we're sitting around, you do not want to go to the gym. You don't want to go for a walk. You don't want to get out. I understand that. And similarly, sometimes you go for a run and your mindset is not all there. But the point that I'd like to share with you is that all of the research shows very clearly that when we are physically active, we improve our mental health. There's a lower risk for depression. There's lower incidence of anxiety. We clear out amyloid plaques that lead to neurodegenerative diseases. We increase BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which stimulates the growth of new neurons inside the brain. It doesn't matter what you do. Stretching helps, walking helps, running helps, paddling helps, weights, yoga, gardening, and housework. They all have a positive impact on our mental health. So I would encourage you to think about your physical practice as a core tenet of your mental health practice. And that when we are physically healthy, it is so much easier to be mentally healthy. And I know that if you're struggling right now, and many people are, 25% of the population is struggling with depression or anxiety, 45 plus percentage of the population struggling with burnout. So if you're watching this video, it's quite likely that you might be struggling, or certainly you know someone who's having a hard time. And for all of us right now, I believe that one of the most powerful things that we can do to elevate our health and well-being, to improve our mental health and well-being, is to get physically active. Doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how intense the activity is, and it does not matter how long the activity is. Anything counts. And as you can tell, my family's kind of set up our world around making it easy to be physically active. And as a result, it's just one of the things that we do. I hope that you consider doing it as well. All right, that's it for this segment. Think clearly, focus deeply. Let's work on improving our mental health so we can positively change the world. Greetings from my backyard. And Luna says, keep up the great work, everyone. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, everybody, that's it for this section in this video on thinking clearly and mental health. I hope that that's helpful. Welcome. Thank you for joining me at the Redwoods here in California. It's a pretty incredible spot. Easy place to do this video on mental health because obviously it's just so amazing. Around here, as you can tell, sunshine, trees, fresh air, all of those sorts of things. I wish you infinite success, infinitely positive mental health. Of course, there's ups and downs in your life. I want you to be able to ride those waves with positivity in the end. I hope that these ideas will help you to think clearly, to eliminate distractions, to focus more relentlessly on the things that matter to you the most, such that you can live a life of your dreams. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.